All right, so we are back again. And like always, I want you to subscribe and like and hit the bell icon so you can pay attention to what we're going on. The whole point of doing this is to try to help pay the bills around the house, mom's house, which is a problem because, with all the politics I'm having to go through lately, this year, last year, probably the year that this is coming out, I'll be having the politics that's causing me problems. And we're going to go ahead and get this thing going. Let's see, what should we do? Well, this is one of those movies. Let's try this.
Off with your head!
All right, here we go. Let's see what we can do. We got the gangbusters going on. So this is a romantic comedy love story film. It's How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. So it turns out that he's an advertising agent and she's a writer. Damn. She's a writer for a how-to magazine, or she's a how-to girl for a girls magazine, a woman's magazine. So it turns out that these two in this movie, Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey, do the starring in this thing, and they do a pretty good job doing this movie. So the whole idea behind this movie is she's trying to focus on her career, and he's trying to get an account for diamonds so he can become rich or make money. And the guys in the office are always competing about it, and a couple other women are trying to get it too that are advertising from his office. And so it turns out to be a bet they make in a bar to get the account, and the devious girls pick this one because she's trying to do the research for her article on how to lose guys in 10 days to protect the honor of her girlfriend. So which is kind of funny how they work this out. So she does all the horrible things that girls do to guys, taking over the bathroom, putting all of her stuff in the bathroom, in the first week of knowing you, getting you all interested, take you to weird concerts, do all the stuff that she wants to do and not what you want to do. And, it turns out to be, funny all the way through. They have lots of twists and turns, and they'll keep you on the edge of your seat to find out what happens next. They break up 2 or 3 times. They end up getting back together, couples counseling and all that, because he's got to get her to the party in love with him in 10 days. And she's got to lose the guy in 10 days, so they're working opposite directions to achieve their goals at their work. Which turns out to be a pretty good movie. It's I don't think they could have cast any better actors to do this movie. So he ends up playing the mom card, and she ends up calling mom to do a baby book, and he ends up taking her to, because that's where I think they break up at the first time. So that or just a scene before, and I'd love to show you my favorite scene in this movie, but YouTube, won't let me do things like that. They call it copyright infringement and shut the thing down. And I'm just getting fed up with all that. So I'm making, I got a couple channels just go, it fly right on the edge of everything YouTube wants to do. And, I've got channels under different usernames just so that if all this goes away, I can just upload everything to that channel and, where I'll be back in business. But it's crazy that how this movie goes. He ends up going to Long Island because this is based in New York. I don't know if I said this, but he ends up going to the Yankees game for the first date, and then she likes the Yankees too, so he discovered the tickets, when she left her purse at his house. It's not a good thing to go through the purse when she leaves it there. It just means that she's looking for another date. The games that people play, this is all about dating games. Making fun of the games, the dating games when men and women play with each other when they don't really have to. Okay, that's some interesting information I was just shown. But anyway, they end up towards the end of the movie falling in love, and after the Long Island trip to Manhattan where parents live, in their house, and they play games there called Bullshit, so it ties into the movie pretty well. The ending is interesting, so you'll have to go watch that. Does everybody does it end up happily ever after? No and yes. That's the answer I'm going to give you on that one, so you'll have to figure out why I'm saying that. Go watch the movie and put your answer in the comments below. That way I know somebody's watching this thing. So tell me what you think. If you got a copy of it or you're going to get a copy of it, take a picture of yourself in it and go find my Twitter account and post it there. Hey, I watched the movie. I liked it. And share the link to the movie there just for the heck of it. Maybe you can help me get better subscribers to this thing. I know the way I do this is not everybody's cup of tea, but there's got to be somebody out there that actually likes the way I do things. I know there is on my other channels. So let's see what we got going here, because I think I'm running out of things to say about this love comedy. So they end up, this thing is one of those that keep you on the edge of your seat. I'm going to end up giving it a 6-star rating. I don't like chick flicks too much, but this one is actually pretty good. It keeps you guessing on what's going to happen next. So this thing came out in, it's Paramount Pictures. They released it in the United States and Germany. The United States, they left it out. They took it out in February 7th, 2003, and then in April 2017, they released it, 2003, they released it in Germany. The movie runs for 116 minutes, which you probably didn't need to know that, but, it's a good movie. It's it's got United States, and they put it out in Germany. It's English, and the budget was spent $50 million on this thing. And at the box office, it was in the box office, it made $177.5 million. Now, that's probably not all they made on this movie, but, they made some pretty good money on this movie, period. So they did a pretty good, production on this thing, and hopefully you enjoy it as much as I did, or do, because it's part of my collection, because that's all I'm really talking about right now, because it's cheap. Then we're going to get out of this thing, and let's see. This one will work. If it works. Yeah, you lost the game. Anyway, so I'll go ahead and get out of here, and hopefully you come back and watch these movies, either it's tomorrow or next week, because of the games YouTube wants to play, and see if you miss a movie. If there's one missing, or two missing, because I'm trying to do every day of this year that this thing's coming out here on YouTube. If you miss one, then it means YouTube took it down because they didn't like what I had to say. Which, it's okay for them to agree with me, but trying to cancel me because they disagree, that's a whole different subject, which we will talk about on one of the other channels. Anyway, bye now.